Hello, everyone. I thought our guys played really hard on Saturday. At one point, we were down 13 points to the number 2 team in the country in the second half, and we battled back. You know, the effort was there from start to finish. The guys played really hard. Obviously, we didn't finish the game the way we wanted. The offense had the opportunity to end it on our terms. We didn't do that. And then the defense went out in a 2-minute situation and obviously didn't get that done as well. Some positives offensively. You know, we had 6 explosives, which is more than the last 3 games combined. You know, I thought we did some things that no other team showed on film against Indiana, had some success there, some opportunities for growth. The middle 8, we had the turnover right before the half, and then the turnover coming out of the half, which was 10 points, which was critical to the outcome of the game. Defensively, positives. Thought our guys played really hard. I thought our defense started to take form, started to look like our old defense. Guys are being physical up front. Thought we got some pressure on the quarterback, got a couple sacks. We hit the kid all game, and that was good. We set up a score as well. Obviously, the room for defense, the 2-minute defense. You know, we played really good up until that point. Special teams overall, I think our special teams continues to be a positive for us, and we'll just continue to build on that. The negative, we had the 1 penalty at the end on a false start, so we'll get that cleaned up. We're looking forward to going up to Michigan State this week. Our guys are hungry. There's no quit in this team. The guys are excited to have a new opportunity this week. We know it's going to be a challenge, but we're focused to finish the season strong. Questions?
Start with Rich Carcella, followed by Bob Flounders.
Thanks, Greg. Good afternoon, Terry. How are you today?
Good, thanks.
Terry, you mentioned the 2-minute defense. The secondary seemed to play better overall than it did against Ohio State. So I'm wondering, how would you evaluate the secondary play, and what could the DBs have done better in those final 2 minutes?
Yeah, I thought the secondary played extremely well throughout the game. They were really competitive when you watch the game as a whole. We covered really, really well. Even the 2-minute situation, you know, Indiana made the plays. They were tough 50-50 plays, and, you know, you had the one play on the sideline with a Davian Collins, and then obviously the game-winning touchdown. Highly contested plays, so, you know, it's tough for the outcome to be that way, but they made plays. We didn't make the mistakes in that sense, so I thought those guys played a lot better this week.
Let's go to Bob Flounders, followed by Mark Wogenrich.
Hey, Terry, how are you?
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
I'm good. Terry, I wanted to ask you about Ethan Grunkmeyer, your young quarterback. Just the response he had. He threw that interception early in the third quarter. I think it was the second play. But he didn't hang his head. He made some plays down the field with his arm. What do you think it says about him, his response? What have you seen from him in terms of confidence emerging from the 3-game test you guys had at Iowa, at Ohio State, and against the number 2 team? And what do you think the ceiling is for him moving forward these next couple of games?
Yeah, I thought Ethan was big time in the second half. You know, when you look at the adversity coming out of the half, he threw the interception. He could have easily hung his head at that point. He battled back. He made some big throws. We started to throw the ball down the field, and he gave us a chance. You know, he fought us back into the game. You know, I thought his growth continues to get better. You know, we have a quarterback for the future, and, you know, we're going to continue to develop and you know, push the ball down the field and give him opportunities to make plays. You know, we have to clean up a couple things. You know, a couple of the screens are, you know, we want to get the ball out in front as opposed to on the back hip, just make it a little easier catch and run type situations. But those are things we'll clean up in practice. But I thought he grew up big time in the second half.
We'll go to Mark Wogenrich, followed by Mike Gross.
Hi, Terry. I wanted to ask you about Pat Kraft. What has the past month been like working with him now as the interim head coach? What has he done to maybe help you ease the transition to this job? And how would you describe him as an athletic director from this new perspective?
Yeah, he's giving me full support. He's allowing me to make the decisions that are necessary for the football team, and he's been there. You know, I meet with him weekly. He continues to support us, and you know, he's done everything that I could ask. There's nothing that we need outwardly, but he's done a great job of supporting us.
Let's go to Mike Gross, followed by Frank Bodani.
Good afternoon, Terry.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing? A lot of our readers have asked us why we didn't ask you after the game about using your last timeout with 20 seconds left. So I just want to ask you about that. And also, has the mechanics of managing the game changed a little bit with the coaching change?
Yeah, the timeout at the end, you know, we got the first down, and we felt like we should take a timeout to maximize our plays. We were trying to get to 3 plays if we could, and you know, once you get the first down, the clock automatically starts running. So even to spike the ball, you're talking a 3-second runoff is automatic, you know, by the rules of the game. So we were just trying to maximize the number of plays that we can get. Obviously, we fell short no matter how it turned out. But yeah, that's about the 2-minute.
Let's go to Frank Bodani, followed by Neil Riddell.
Hi, Terry. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Hey, Frank.
Hi. You mentioned about how you thought that your defense started to look like your old defense again, in a sense, or got back to the way you expected it. I want to ask, why now? What changes do you think happened to make that work like that, to make it look like that Saturday? And what's the big key then going forward with the defense starting again in Michigan State?
Yeah, it's a combination of things. One, you know, we're deep into the season and we're getting a better grasp of the defense. 2, we have simplified some of the play calling of the defense. 3, you know, we're drawing up a little bit more blitz packages to get the pressure, and our guys are playing a little bit faster and a little bit looser. And you know, you saw on Saturday, they looked like the old Penn State defense. They got after it. They were having fun. You know, we got 3 sacks and a bunch of pressures. We have to turn a lot more of those pressures into true sacks. That kid was elusive on Saturday. But I think our guys are starting to settle into the defense and learning it and starting to master it. And, you know, we're putting a couple caveats in there and, you know, putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback now. We want to continue that and build on it.
Our last question from Zoom is Neil Riddell.
Hey, thanks, Greg. Hey, hi, Terry.
Hey, Neil.
I was wondering, you mentioned after the game about better decisions on in some situations on third down. Were you talking about calls or Ethan? What was he looking for, or what were you guys looking for on the third down before the punt? Was there something downfield that you would have instead of the dump off?
Yeah, you know, we had a downfield play called. You know, we had a little bit of pressure, and Ethan got off of his mark and then went to his check down, which is, you know, when you're right before the half, we want to get some yards to try to score and try to get positive things going. And then worst case, you punt the ball back. And, you know, hit the check down, and unfortunately, you know, we turned the ball over. But those things happen, you know, and then we just got to move forward from there.
Go to questions in the room over here on the right. Mark.
Thanks for your time, Terry. What sort of strength are you drawing from Haley when you're walking into these 100,000-seat stadiums, and how much of a rock has your family kind of been? I know how close your immediate family is to you.
Yeah, Haley's my everything. She's my forever child, and you know, she's like the glue to our entire family. You know, if the world had what she possesses, we wouldn't have any of these issues that are going on in the world. We wouldn't have war. We wouldn't have a shutdown government, things like that. She has unconditional love. She doesn't care that we lose or win. Every day I get the same hug and greeting when I walk through the door as if it's the first time she's ever seen me. And so that strength, it re-encourages me. It lifts me up. It helps me through the day. And it lets me know that this is just a game.
Audrey?
Sorry. Hey, Jerry, how are you?
Hey, RG.
You said Saturday that you guys in the second half made the decision to throw the ball down the field. You guys made the calls. I guess why not do that earlier in the game, or were you guys trying to set stuff up in the first half and then second half you were able to take those shots?
Yeah, honestly speaking, we just didn't make those play calls, and we went into halftime, and we made sure we made those calls in the second half because obviously it gave us an opportunity to succeed in the second half. And then once we started making those play calls, that's why the run splits with Nick, and it helps the run game. So we have to grow and build on that, and we're going to come out of Michigan State. We're going to be super aggressive, and we're going to mix it with some play action and run because that's our formula to success.
Over here on the right, John.
Hey, Terry. You mentioned the simplification over here to your right.
I'm sorry.
The simplification of the defense and how you made some changes going into this week. What was the process like in making those changes, and whose decision was it to make them in the end?
Jim Knowles is in control of the defense, and so he's running everything. We have conversations, some things that I would like to see, and just some points that to try to hit home. But he's in control of the defense, and as we talk through things and we talk about our personnel and we talk about trying to get our young guys involved, we know that the young guys can't run the whole playbook. So we have to simplify for those guys to have success. Alex Tash is in the game at the very end. We can't have the whole playbook for him because it's just too much. And so we have to put our guys in position to succeed, and I think Jim is doing a good job with that now.
Over here on the right, Tyler.
Hey, Terry. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Curious if you think that Chaz Coleman is going to be available this upcoming Saturday, and then another freshman defensive end, Ivan Kamaju, has played quite a bit lately. How would you describe the progress he's made?
Yeah, Chaz is day-to-day. We're hoping to have him this week. It's an injury. So we're hoping to get him back this week. He's a big part of what we're trying to build here. Ivan is having an amazing freshman year. This kid is going to be a major part of Penn State's future. He continues to play more and more snaps, and love his development, love his work ethic, love his tenacity. He's a big, strong guy, and we're just going to keep growing with him. He's going to be one of our special players here in a year or two.
Over here on the right in the back, Max.
Hey, Terry. Appreciate the time today. When you were talking about Grunk, you said we have a quarterback for the future here. Obviously, the situation is not lost on him or you for what this may turn into. How has your relationship with him grown, and how do you address the situation that he's in where this could all look a lot different next year?
Yeah, my relationship has grown, tremendously. It's the head coach and the quarterback, your partners in crime. And, we're going through this together. We're in turmoil together. His decision-making, my decision-making impacts this entire program. And things can change come December. But right now we're just living in the present. He's getting better each day. He's preparing better each day. And I'm doing the same. I'm trying to be better for him and to try to help him just have an ease in the pocket and have presence in the pocket and deliver. We saw the second half, he really delivered that and gave us an opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to him this Saturday and seeing more growth this week.
Over here on the right.